119, sit back and enjoy. Black Caps coach Gary Stead joins us. Gary, first and foremost, we've got a lot of cricket to talk, obviously, but first and foremost, how do you assess that two-match test series win versus South Africa?
Very, very happy with it overall. I think most pundits out there would have expected us to win, and it was sort of puts you in a little bit of a no-win situation, really, that you go out there and we played some reasonable cricket. I thought the first test in particular, we were very convincing. Second test, I expected them to bounce back a bit more, and they did, and I guess adjusted their style of play, and we were put under some more pressure there, which is also good when we lead into the Australian series. But to ultimately get the points was very pleasing.
And also, history made, first time in 92 years in the 18th series that we get a win against them.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess people will look back in the future and say, oh, they weren't at full strength, but we can only play what's in front of us, and ultimately we got the maximum points that we could, and I think that augurs well for us when you consider the World Test Championship.
Look, they were under strength. They left 56 players behind. We know that. You're exactly right. You can only beat who you beat. But is that disappointing for you, though? I mean, 92 years of history, you got the tradition with it. Obviously, you would have preferred to play the full-strength side.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I mean, that's where the world of cricket is at the moment, and I think Test cricket has been placed under pressure with some of these franchise leagues that are I guess popping up all around the world and may continue to do so. So I think it's moved fast the last 18 months or so, and it will be interesting to see where we are in 18 months' time as well around the whole world of cricket.
At the same time, though, and we saw this a few weeks ago with the Windies winning in Australia in that same day. I mean, the double header of England winning, and then I don't know how much of the England-India series you've been watching, but of course, so much interest in us playing Australia coming up in Test cricket. It's just that balancing act, isn't it? Do you feel that they've got it right, or do you think that South Africa sending this under-strength team is a sign that they haven't got it right?
No, I think it's just a clash of competitions at the time, and we may face that more in the future, and there's always potentially going to be a first time that happened, and this may be it. So I absolutely guarantee you it won't be the last time it happens, though, in the future. So unless we can find windows for I guess, Test cricket and franchise cricket that don't clash, but it's pretty hard with, I think, the amount of cricket there is around the world these days. And, but also encouraging, as you say, that we've seen some results like West Indies tipping up Australia, and I think Pakistan taking them close as well, because I think that gives all teams encouragement, and especially us who are playing them next.
Is that the last thing we need, a wounded Australian side, though?
Maybe, but look, when you start the game, it doesn't really matter whether you're wounded, whether you're underdogs. It's just going out there and playing your best cricket, and I think if we do that, we'll certainly be competitive. Gary
Stead, Black Caps coach, with us. I read a really interesting statistical article by Ian Anderson last week. I don't know whether it been brought to your attention as well, but in the last few series, Bangladesh away, Bangladesh at home, England here, Sri Lanka, 2 tests. We play really well in one, and then kind of struggled to recreate that form in the second one, albeit the first one or the second one, if you know what I mean. And we did that against South Africa as well. Played brilliant in the first one and then struggled. Why is that?
We still won the second test, though,
good point.
Marty, by 7 wickets.
Yeah, good point.
We got over the line. Look, I don't think there's any real patterns. I think there's a lot of test nations have got better as well. I think it's a more complete program than where teams are closer to each other, and when you go to, I guess, away conditions, I think it's always hard to win, and we're seeing the odd upset now, which I think is great for the game. I mean, England winning the first test in India was fantastic. West Indies getting over Australia in Australia, I think, is one of the hardest things to do. So I think that augurs well, and says that maybe our countries are all evening up a little bit, and the chance of beating opposition, if you're slightly off, does happen.
Can we beat Australia?
Yes, we can, yeah. I mean, they're formidable. They're World Test champions, as we know, but we were 2 years before that as well, and I know there's a lot of fire in the team, and certainly looking forward to the challenge ahead.
What's a win for you? Would a series split be a win?
We want to win every Test match if we can, but Look, I mean, we're still relatively early into this cycle of the World Test Championship, and I think any team, if they were to win 2 here, would see it as an absolute victory and go a long way in terms of putting your name forward for potential finalists for the next way. So every Test match we go into, though, we start afresh. We're trying to, I guess, just play our best cricket, and regardless of who the opposition is, if you can do that for long periods of time, you do give yourself a good chance.
If you had to make a choice, Gary Stead with us on the platform, Black Caps coach, between winning the T20 series or winning a test against Australia, what would it be?
Well, I think in terms of priorities right now, I'd take a test match win. I think the T20 series would be great again, and last time Australia here, we did manage to get over the top of them 3-2. But there's a World Cup just around the corner, and we know we're potentially a few players down who aren't in our T20 side. But that's great opportunity for others to come in and push their case and say, hey, I'm here and don't forget about me.
Yeah, first one on Wednesday, then Friday and Sunday, and the tests after that. Kane Williamson, I just loved reading what Tim Southey said about him after that second test. He said, he's had the best seat in the house, and I suppose you have as well, watching this guy play. 7 tests, scored a century in each of the last 7 tests. Amazing average, quicker than everyone else is doing. And also so heartening to read when Tim says that he trains harder, he hits more balls. I mean, to think that with everything he's achieved, he's still that dedicated to it. I mean, you talk to us about what you love about watching Kane Williamson.
Well, like Tim said, it's I guess an absolute privilege to get as close as you do to it and watch how he goes about his business. I think the thing that stands out for me is just his ability to solve problems when he's batting and just continue to complete a very, very simple process of one ball at a time. And regardless of the bowling that seems to be coming down against him, he finds a way to get the results that he wants. And there's no doubt in my mind he is up there with some of the best batters there's ever been in the game, and we're extremely lucky to have him within our side.
What do you say to him as coach?
I don't say a lot, actually. I leave that to Luke Ronke and Dean Brown, who's been with us, who seem to throw all the balls at him. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, he's like any other human. You've got to go out there, you've got to get around them at times. And Kane's very curious in the way that he goes about his training. He likes to, I guess, experiment on the edge a little bit and find ways of continue to get better. And I think when you're that good, sometimes it's about actually making things simpler for him, not harder, and trying to simplify his mind down to just make sure he's got the very basics in order.
Gary, you played at the highest level. You played Test cricket as well. Just as a player, take yourself back to when you were playing. I mean, what would you have loved to have known now watching him play?
I can't think that far back, buddy. It's been a long time ago.
But it's everything about it, though, just must be a joy, especially when you, as I say, you played at that level, just to see him just be so good.
Yeah, I think he makes batting look comparatively easy when you look at him compared to others. He has the ability to play off both feet. He has the simplest of movements, but there is so much that sort of goes in behind the scenes to get him into the strong positions that he's in. And that is the thing that I always admire about Kane. He's always talking to other batsmen around, I wish I had your cover drive and cut shot and pull shot, and they're all sort of looking at him, scratching their heads right. And saying, well, I just wish I was as good as you, mate.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Very, very, very humble but as I said, a curious mind of how he can continue to get better.
And what has impressed me out of those last 7 tests is in 2 of those he's carried his bat through to win a game for New Zealand, to win a test for New Zealand, and that's what really counts.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's ultimately what we're trying to do every time we go out there. We also understand that sport as it is, you have winners and you have losers, and that's the thing why I think people can get so emotional around sport and what it is. But we're trying to win every time we go out there, but with the understanding that if we're not somewhere near our best, we can certainly get tipped up. And equally, you can play very, very good cricket and still not be good enough to win at times. So, but I can assure you we're all going out there and preparing as well as we can and making sure that we give ourselves the best chance.
Finally, has Will O'Rourke done enough to make an appearance against Aussie in the test?
Well, he's in the squad of 14, so he's done enough for that for a start anyway. He was very impressive. I think the thing that we really liked about Will is the bounce that he can create off a length, and I have an inkling that he can. Well, I had an inkling he can get some very good players out from that. He's hugely impressive with his accuracy as well, and the way he maintained his pace. So that all augurs well, I think, for a long international career in front of him.
Oh, looking forward to the T20 series and then the two tests. Appreciate your time as always, Gary. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks.
Devlin.
Yes! Yes! Can they do it?
The platform.